The Clockmaker's Secret Story. In the quaint village of Brindlewood, time seemed to move at its own leisurely pace. The village was known for its cobblestone streets, charming cottages, and the sweet scent of blooming flowers that filled the air. At the heart of this picturesque village stood a small, cluttered shop belonging to an old clockmaker named Thomas Whittaker. Thomas was a man of few words but immense skill. His clocks were renowned far and wide, each one a masterpiece of precision and beauty. His shop, cluttered with gears, springs, and the rhythmic ticking of countless clocks, was a place of wonder for the villagers. Yet, there was one clock that stood out from all the rest, a grand, ornate timepiece that occupied the central spot in his shop. This clock, known as the Eternal Timekeeper, was unlike any other. Its intricate design featured gold filigree, precious gemstones, and an array of symbols that no one could decipher. The villagers often speculated about its origin and purpose, but Thomas remained tight-lipped, only offering a mysterious smile when questioned. One day, a young girl named Emily entered the shop. Emily had always been fascinated by the clockmaker's creations, and she visited often, watching Thomas work with rapt attention. This time, however, she had a different purpose. "Mr. Whittaker," Emily began hesitantly, "could you tell me the story of the Eternal Timekeeper?" Thomas paused from his work, his eyes softening as he regarded the curious girl. "Ah, the Eternal Timekeeper," he murmured, as if reminiscing. "It's a special clock, indeed. Do you really wish to know its story?" Emily nodded eagerly. Thomas motioned for her to sit and began his tale. "Many years ago, when I was a young man, I was an apprentice to a great clockmaker in a distant city. One day, a mysterious traveler arrived at our shop. He was dressed in strange, foreign clothes and carried with him a small, battered box. Inside that box was the Eternal Timekeeper, but it was broken, its mechanism silent and lifeless. The traveler entrusted the clock to my master and me, pleading with us to repair it. He told us that it was not just any clock, it had the power to alter time itself. My master was skeptical, but we agreed to take on the challenge. For months, we worked tirelessly, trying to understand the intricate mechanisms and the strange symbols etched into its surface. One night, as I toiled alone in the workshop, I accidentally triggered a hidden switch. The clock came to life with a soft, melodious chime. In that instant, I found myself transported to another time, another place. It was a beautiful garden, bathed in golden sunlight, with flowers of every color imaginable. There, I met a woman named Elora. Elora explained that the Eternal Timekeeper was a creation of her people, the Keepers of Time. It was designed to maintain the balance of time, preventing any disruptions that could alter the course of history. However, an enemy had stolen it and damaged it, threatening the very fabric of reality. I spent what felt like days in that garden, learning about the responsibilities of the Keepers of Time and the importance of the clock. When I finally returned to my own time, only minutes had passed. The traveler was gone, leaving me with the repaired Eternal Timekeeper and a solemn duty. Since that day, I have kept the clock safe, ensuring that it remains in good working order. I believe that one day the traveler or someone else will return to claim it and restore the balance of time. Emily listened, wide-eyed, as Thomas finished his story. "Oh, Mr. Whittaker, why haven't you told anyone about this before?" Thomas smiled gently. "Some stories are meant to be discovered at the right time, by the right people. Perhaps, Emily, you were meant to hear this tale." Years passed, and Emily grew up, always cherishing the memory of the clockmaker's story. She eventually became the village historian, documenting its rich heritage and the tales of its people. Yet, she never forgot the Eternal Timekeeper and its mysterious origins. One evening, as Emily was walking past the clockmaker's shop, she noticed a faint glow emanating from within. Curiosity piqued, she entered the shop to find Thomas standing before the clock, his expression serene. "Emily," he said softly, "it's time." Before she could respond, the Eternal Timekeeper began to chime. The air shimmered, and the shop transformed into the beautiful garden Thomas had described. Standing amidst the flowers was Elora, her eyes filled with warmth and gratitude. "Welcome, Emily," Elora said. "You are the one we have been waiting for." Emily felt a sense of awe and purpose wash over her. She understood now why Thomas had shared the story with her all those years ago. She was destined to become a keeper of time, to protect the delicate balance of reality. As she took her place beside Elora, Emily glanced back at Thomas, who nodded with pride and satisfaction. The clockmaker's secret had been revealed, and the legacy of the Eternal Timekeeper would continue in the hands of a new guardian. And so, in the village of Brindlewood, where time moved at its own leisurely pace, the Eternal Timekeeper remained, a symbol of the enduring power of stories, the mysteries of time, and the unbroken chain of guardians who protected it. The next story, the title is The Lost Manuscript. In the bustling city of Viridian, nestled between towering skyscrapers and modern marvels, stood an old, ivy-covered library known as the Viridian Archive. It was a place where time seemed to stand still, preserving the wisdom of the ages. The archive was a labyrinth of ancient books, manuscripts, and scrolls meticulously maintained by a small group of dedicated librarians. Among them was Clara Morgan, a young woman with a passion for history and a knack for uncovering hidden treasures. Clara had grown up in Viridian, her childhood spent wandering the aisles of the archive, lost in the stories of the past. Now, as a librarian, she had made it her mission to safeguard and explore the wealth of knowledge housed within the archive's walls. One rainy afternoon, while sorting through a dusty collection of old volumes, Clara stumbled upon a small, unassuming box tucked away in a forgotten corner. Intrigued, she carefully opened it to reveal a bundle of yellowed parchment tied with a faded ribbon. The pages were filled with intricate illustrations and flowing script, unlike anything Clara had ever seen. As she examined the manuscript, she noticed a strange symbol on the cover, a delicate, intertwined design resembling an ancient seal. Her curiosity piqued. Clara decided to investigate further. She took the manuscript to her mentor, Professor Edgar Thornfield, an expert in rare texts and ancient languages. Professor Thornfield adjusted his glasses as he scrutinized the manuscript. "This is quite extraordinary, Clara," he said, his voice tinged with excitement. "I believe this is the work of Aelius Serapion, a legendary scribe from the forgotten city of Amara. According to legend, Serapion's final work contained secrets that could change the course of history." Clara's eyes widened with awe. She had heard tales of Amara, a city said to be lost to time, its knowledge and treasures buried beneath the sands of oblivion. If this manuscript truly was Serapion's final work, it could be the key to uncovering the mysteries of Amara. Determined to decipher the manuscript, Clara and Professor Thornfield spent countless hours poring over its contents. The script was written in a cryptic language, filled with hidden codes and references to ancient myths. Slowly but surely, they began to piece together its meaning. One evening, as they worked late into the night, a breakthrough occurred. Clara discovered a series of symbols that matched those found on a map of Amara she had studied years ago. The manuscript was not just a collection of writings, it was a guide, a map leading to the lost city itself. Excitement and trepidation filled Clara's heart. She knew that this discovery could lead to unimaginable knowledge and treasures, but it also posed great risks. The location of Amara had been a closely guarded secret for centuries, and many had sought it in vain. With Professor Thornfield's encouragement, Clara decided to embark on a journey to find the lost city. She gathered a small team of trusted colleagues, including her childhood friend Marcus, an expert in archaeology, and Evelyn, a brilliant linguist with a knack for deciphering ancient texts. The journey was arduous, taking them across vast deserts, treacherous mountains, and dense jungles. Guided by the clues in Serapion's manuscript, they faced numerous challenges, hidden traps, cryptic puzzles, and fierce guardians protecting the secrets of Amara. Finally, after weeks of relentless pursuit, they arrived at the entrance to the lost city. Hidden beneath the sands, the entrance was a grand archway adorned with the same symbol that graced Serapion's manuscript. As they stepped inside, a sense of awe and reverence enveloped them. Amara was a city frozen in time, its grand temples and majestic palaces standing as a testament to its former glory. The streets were lined with statues and murals depicting the rich history and culture of its people. In the heart of the city, they found the great library of Amara, its shelves filled with scrolls and manuscripts that had remained untouched for centuries. As Clara and her team delved into the library's treasures, they uncovered knowledge that had been lost to the world, ancient sciences, forgotten histories, and philosophical treatises that challenged contemporary understanding. Among the scrolls, Clara found a personal journal belonging to Aelius Serapion himself, detailing his life's work and the creation of the manuscript that had led them here. In his journal, Serapion spoke of his desire to preserve the wisdom of Amara for future generations, believing that knowledge was the greatest treasure of all. He entrusted his final work to the guardians of the city, hoping that one day, someone worthy would uncover its secrets and carry forward the legacy of Amara. Moved by Serapion's words, Clara made a vow to protect and share the knowledge they had discovered. She knew that the secrets of Amara could change the world, but they had to be handled with care and responsibility. With the support of her team, she returned to Viridian, bringing back the treasures of the lost city. The discovery of Amara's knowledge sparked a renaissance of learning and innovation in Viridian. Clara and her colleagues became renowned for their work, and the Viridian Archive became a beacon of enlightenment, drawing scholars and seekers of wisdom from all corners of the world. And so, the lost manuscript of Aelius Serapion fulfilled its purpose, bridging the past and the future, and ensuring that the wisdom of Amara would never be forgotten. Clara Morgan's name became synonymous with discovery and preservation, her legacy intertwined with the timeless treasures of the Viridian Archive.